So you do like it?
I love it, yeah.
Now when you go pre-owned, you can enjoy the same feeling you get with a new Toyota. Tested and backed by Toyota.
Upgrade your car, mate.
This? Yeah, no big deal.
Toyota certified. Pre-owned in a class of its own. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
After last week's insanity in the 1980s IMSA cars, we've parked them, we're back in our GT3 machines, and we're bringing the horsepower to Sandown for round 9 of the simrigs.com Oz Pro-Am Sim Series. It's been such an exciting year, such an exciting season. We've seen lots of great racing because there's plenty of drivers involved across Pass 2 and the Pro-Am Sim Series. 3 categories total, all chock-a-block with some of Australia's greatest racing iRacers. So here we are at Sandown. Pass 2 comes up first. It's David Haynes here with Nick Skariev, Jay Kennedy on our production on SimSpeed TV, where we're delighted to have you.
Pleasure to be here, David. It's great to see Sandown. This is actually, we were just talking off mic just before, both of our first time here, so definitely not new to SimSpeed. Covered a lot of races here, but this will be our first time of getting a good look around the circuit.
Yeah, so let's think about that racing format for Pass 2, which will come up first. As you can see, it's 25 minutes. There will be 1 pit stop. Been hearing this is a relatively high fuel consumption track for the GT3s. You do think about it sort of as one long straight down the pit straight there, a couple of corners, long back straight into that very challenging committed section at the back, and then you work your way through that and you're immediately back onto the pit straight again. It's a short and punchy lap with a lot of time at full throttle and some relatively high speeds. So, balance of performance is what we were going to get to in a minute, because that is what has kept this championship so interesting and so diverse with the manufacturers. Otherwise, it'd be 40 Porsche 911 GT3s, which is a great car, but we'd like to see them do battle with the Mercedes, with the Ferraris, with the BMWs. Jake Jackson in his Porsche 911 GT3R leads the Pass 2 championship. From Aaron Obersteller, Joshua Robertson, David Baz, Ian Jordan, Braden Sagasar, Benjamin Johnson, Ben Pollock, Patrick Panson, and Ashley DeFries. So this is certainly, as we said, a track that favours horsepower, and this is how much each car has got. That Porsche 911 GT3R has been so drivable, so raceable, with great race pace, and that's why it's trimmed back to 96% of standard power. Ferrari 488 and the Lamborghini Huracan have full beams, and then we've seen the BMW M4, the Audi R8, and the Mercedes be very competitive cars. So they're sort of in the middle there, and hopefully it all balances it out. Everyone across the race distance of 25 minutes with an equal chance to win.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are seeing there a little bit more of a balance there. We've got the 488 Ferrari there maxed all the way out, so we might see that be a little bit more competitive here tonight. We are going to zoom in here in Victoria, where Jay and I are in Australia, which David Haynes is also as well. So Sandown, southeast suburbs of Melbourne, would have been, when the circuit was built, not very much around it, but quite smack bang in the middle of suburbia now.
Yeah, they say grouse and Palmer around these parts, I believe. So that's where we are around the horse racing track. And your key overtaking places are obviously turn 1. And also, you see some cheeky moves happen at turn 6 down there and towards Dandenong Road, especially if you get a good drive off of turn 4, where you're really hemmed in between the walls and quite a slow part of the track there with some very high curbs as well.
Yeah, it almost plays out more like a street circuit. It's quite narrow, so all these long straights kind of meted with these really slow speed turns there, in particular 3, 4, 11 and 12. So really almost like bus stop style 90-degree corners.
So it's qualifying underway right now, which will set the grid for that 25-minute race. Looks like we've got about 20 drivers and a bunch of them getting on new tyres, trying to give it another run, trying to give it another go. It's a very cool track, which should give them lots of power, lots of grip, very quick lap times, and only just over 60 seconds to do yourself a lap here of Sandown. And Joshua Robertson is at the top at the moment. Jake Jackson looking to improve, sitting 8th, which is basically smack bang mid-pack at the moment. That has been the consistent trend of the Porsches, we feel, that power reduction doesn't help them in qualifying, but come the race, they're just so consistent in the race pace when the other cars might suffer a little more tyre wear.
Absolutely. One thing to note as well is we're kind of mentioning it is a tricky circuit to overtake as well, so there's going to be a really strong emphasis there on qualifying, and almost kind of seeing now from me and Jordan's perspective, you don't want to be caught behind that lap traffic as well. So the Audi just out in front is pulled away, didn't slow him up too much. You can see hang it really sharp to the left to kind of cut that corner. And it's actually that start finish straight comes up very quick.
Yeah, the other side of that coin is it's a very long run from the start down towards turn 1 on the first lap of the race. So that often leads to excitement, let's say. Dave Baz here we saw inside of the top 10 of the championship, racing the Porsche 911.
We'll have to see. He was quite aggressive on those curbs, and I think he was all the way on the inside, so not too certain if that lap will register. Oh, it does. Alright, turns out the track limits are a little bit more favourable than the likes of Spa and such, usually four wheels inside the curb. They come down with raining fists of fury, but here it's a little bit more relaxed.
Sam Batty in the Drop Bear Motorsport BMW does his time, goes to 9th there, and it is looking really close. In that qualifying. Of course, it's going to look close with the lap time. It's only just over a minute. Jackson looking to improve on a minute 8.3. As you say, that line does come up pretty quickly, and there goes 7.6 to jump him a couple spots.
Great run there. Oh, with the BMW facing the wrong way. Ben Pollard trying to find a bit of grass, I suppose, so give him a bit of a quick spin around. He won't be able to keep driving in the opposite direction for too much longer. He couldn't. He booted off the circuit. There we go. It's Braden Sagasa there. Sorry, Braden Sagasa. Hear that Porsche screaming, and it's such a cool little complex set of corners all the way from 6 through 7 and 8 there. Really on a good run at the moment.
The curbs are very aggressive around here, but again, the lap time is made when you get all on top of them. So that is often a differentiating point. One GT3 Mark to another is how well they handle curbs, as well as their tyre life, tyre management, etc. So if you've got a car that you feel is comfortable getting across a lot of curbs, then, well, you can exploit that at turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, almost the whole way around the lap. If the car is compliant being thrown across those curbs, it's going to give you a significant advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. We're just starting to see that checkered flag come out there. So Paul Longworth has put him up there. So great last minute dash there. That's just put him inside, I think, the top 10 now. So are seeing Overstill around the back side of the circuit.
Get good drive off of the slower corners with the Mercedes. Relatively planted, plenty of torque all through the rev range. And just fallen short of an improvement there, but we'll start on the second row of the grid.
Oh, there you go. Patrick Panton there with an improvement. Whether or not that's actually put him up the order, though. No gain on that one.
Qualifying comes to a pretty abrupt end here, again, with the short and quick nature of the lap. And we lock in the grid for the one race of Pass 2 tonight. Joshua Robertson on pole from Ben Pollock, from John Gagliardi, Aaron Obersteller, Ian Jordan. Got Mark Cochran giving the Lamborghini a good run. See how that goes, because again, that's got full unrestricted V10 power. Should be pretty good down the long straight to Sandown. Row 4 is Patrick Panton and Paul Longworth. Again, the Ferrari, no restriction on its power, able to stretch its legs around a horse racing track. Sam Batty, Jake Jackson, Braden Sagasser, and David Baz are through to 12th place there. And the rest of the grid is Robert McGrath, Matt Hardigan, Hayden Jackson, Tom Brown, Shane Newens, Hamish Munro, and Jack Anderson and Ken O'Hara. "25 minutes, one pit stop required."
There you go. I think one thing we haven't really had too much of a look at, so we do have this, I'm guessing this is a sprint race here at the start. So that blend line is quite sharp there with the pit exit there, and it's almost one of the highest speed parts of the track, so definitely something to watch out for throughout this race.
Good view around the place. You can see where the old International Endurance Circuit went still. I think one of the 1984 World Sports Car races here is on YouTube if you want to watch some, good old 90s Porsche sports car stuff. Apparently, because they snuck that one in just before the first Adelaide Grand Prix, it was the first FIA World Championship race in Australia. The 84 round of the World Sports Car Championship. And there had been, international Grand Prix in Australia, but none of them that were a championship round of an international championship. So that's a little bit of Sandown history. Pretty short little formation lap around here, only half of Sandown. A unique pit entry here as well, where it's almost part of the runoff of the final corner. You then point the car left towards the start-finish line. Green flag is up.
Well, Barney's still with the flag in the air, so the start line is actually down near the other end. So thankfully, didn't have anyone jump it, but they are going to go green right now. Yeah,
we go. And Robertson in the Mercedes, very well placed. I think he's off to a good start there. Ooh, a little wide on the cold tyres and a little bit of BMW contact back there as well. And Panton gets looped around, I think off the nose of Zambatti. Here is the Lamborghini versus the Ferrari. Full Italian power in effect, looking to straighten that line up onto the long back.
All seem to get away pretty well now. We've actually just seen the got a couple more Lamborghini Hurricanes there in the mix. There's definitely that white one in the mix. Still cold tyres here at the moment, so we'll see. Seem to be keeping it fairly straight here at the moment.
Oh, but there's already dramas again on the road there. Hamish Munro gets looped around. Someone else was already going slow. Maybe they had a slowdown penalty for cutting part of the track. And still going relatively slowly in the BMW there. But Joshua Robertson, after just one lap, has a 3-second lead out the front of this one. He has bolted and left us some close racing in his wake, though. It's Baz trying to get down the inside on Pollock. Behind that, I think Sagasar gets around Matt Hardigan. Hardigan's made some moves already in this race as well, though. Porsche staying off the curbs compared to BMWs.
Really hear them opening up down all the way down the back straight there. We'll see what kind of speeds they're hitting though. Somewhere around about that 250 k an hour mark there, so not too patchy. Robertson though was over 3 seconds on that first lap. He's almost stretched it out to about 3.5 seconds, so he's absolutely walking away with it at the moment.
Here we are with Gagliardi 5th at the moment. Down towards turn 1. Drivers want to use all of the road to open up the way in. Get across the side of that curb. Little if you want sometimes. Again, Ferrari looks to stay off the curbs. And BMW driver willing to take a little more risk with them. Open up the angle everywhere they can. Stabilising a little bit with that lead of Robertson. Oberstella starting to match the pace in that Mercedes versus Mercedes for first and second. And here, Jordan Longworth, Gagliardi.
Really does give us that kind of street circuit vibe, even with the really shallow runoffs and stuff as well. Thankfully, we haven't had too many so far. I think it was only Patrick Pant was down around about that 18th position, so he was down 11 spots, but everyone else seems to be holding pretty well. I think Ben Pollock might have lost 8 spots as well, so those two not having the best start, but for Ben Pollock though, he's still in that top 10. Oh gee, you can see running over the top of the curb there, I think for Paul Longworth, so you can just see how much that car was unsettled.
Yep, it's a really high curb and that's the danger of it. Oh, drama there if Baz gets too much of the exit curb. And he's stuck in a super precarious place. Street circuit stuff there, like you say. Oh my goodness, how is he going to get that thing turned around? It's going to be super difficult for him. Is Hardigan and Sagasar in battle once again? Oh, and Hardigan's around. All around. They're all in the fence. My goodness.
Oh, gee, it's going to be a tricky rejoin, but thankfully that's off nice and well to the inside. We do, I think Sam Batty there is stuck off the inside of the wall. We are going to cut here to our VRS replay, and all 3 cars there. Yeah, such a tricky part of the circuit. You can see
they all owe Jay Hansen royalties. 1, 2, 3, all just spinning out in the fast corner, and that's the problem. Batty, the way he's caught the Armco. A lot of damage there.
Almost injected him out onto the horse racing track there, so Batty.
You don't want to know what they do to a racehorse when it gets stuck in a barrier.
They have to bring out the big screen around Sam Batty so they can teleport him back to the pits. But yeah, it's just that turn 6 and 7, just catching out a couple of drivers there in the early stages.
We are still expecting pit stops relatively quick into this race. Oh, it bites again. The Lamborghini it's got horsepower, but it's got no stability. There, the high-speed corner up against the curves, across some of the bumps. And takes a big hit, this time on the right-hand side of the circuit. Here it is, Mark Cochran. Just... nope.
Yeah, it was clearly a passenger in that. Almost was going to say the prancing horse for Lamborghini, but Lamborghini's the bull, so probably don't see too many
A bucking
bulls in
horse?
Sandown. Yeah, bucking bull, that's all. Prancing horse though, seeing a couple of our Ferraris around the edge here. I feel the BMW's trying to get the claws out.
Longworth, as he's still sandwiched amongst the BMWs. The fastest car last lap was actually Obersteller in second place. Robert McGrath Porsche has found barriers somewhere else, and I'm not sure how that started, but the front is very, very damaged there. Looking for a move on the Mercedes there at the end of the straight.
That was so lucky there not to get spat out on the circuit. Grabbed the brakes too before rolling back on there. So props to Robert McGrath there. That's really quite noble racecraft there to not cause an incident for anyone else, but for himself, disappointing.
2 laps in a row that Obersteller is the fastest car out on the track. So after the lightning start for Robertson, he's not getting away with it just yet. Here's our next group battling over the podium. Just that millisecond of brake lights before they can pitch into that corner. That's always the challenge, is when you don't need to scrub, 150 kilometers an hour and make a big stop and turn into the corner. You just got to shave off a little bit when you're dangerously close to flat out through that corner, but not quite. That's clearly what makes it such a challenge, in addition to the road camber, the bumps, all of that.
Did see some fair tire tracks there. I think it was about turn 13, so it seems to be incidents here all over the circuit. Very clean though through the first section, so such a cool part there. So yeah, absolutely right there. So scrub off speed to that 90-degree right-hander and then really open it up down the straight.
What does Paul Longworth need to get past? Because apparently he should have the power, and he's right there, and he remains right there the whole time, and he hasn't had a look, a sniff at third place yet. Oh, that's not going to help him. Very wide across the curb. Car in front is going to go for the pits, but Longworth now under attack from Gagliardi down towards turn number 1. BMW getting much better drive off the final corner, and that's what makes the difference. Down the inside at one tidy as you like.
Just on board here at the moment. Should see how much. Yeah, it's cool seeing that actual that feedback there from the BMW. It's quite a handful. GT3 cars just so highly strong in that suspension department. So I've seen Ian Jordan actually has rejoined their own 14th, so he'll be our pit delta for some of the cars around, in particular for these two.
I think you can see the different characteristics of these two, where it's especially turn 2 and 3. It just seems like half the drivers are all over those curbs and half of them are staying off it. Ferraris and Porsches staying off it. Mercedes and BMW is just more able to really cut and open up what is a tight part of the track. This is Ian Jordan. We saw him pit a little on the early side, but maybe strategic in a way. And it's about time. Just past 10 minutes into the race. John Brown is in. A little bit of the damage fixed there as well, you can see. I wouldn't be surprised if 1 lap or 2 sees almost everyone through the lane.
Yeah, we're just having a bit of a look through the timesheets as well from Robertson to Obersteller, so a little bit further up the road though. Obersteller seems to be still only a couple of tenths so in his fastest and on that last lap as well, so he's really going to have to push just that bit harder to make an impression there on that first place.
Oh, contact at Dandenong Road, misjudging the braking zone, Ben Pollock. You can see them in the background, a shot there. Make contact with Jake Jackson. The Sagasars slipped in between them, I believe. And here comes almost everyone for pit lane, including the race leader, Joshua Robertson. Second place, Aaron Obersteller. Paul Longworth carries on, but this is a look at what happened at the back end of the circuit. So the Porsche for Jackson in front. Yeah, Pollock was getting in a little hot there.
He did actually did see him as he was coming around through turn 6. He was both wheels off in the grass as well, if you go back maybe about 5 seconds or so. So whether or not, that was actually there from another car, but he might have, maybe I'm just trying to make excuses where I shouldn't.
More cars through the pit lane as well. Longworth, Jackson, Anderson and Panton yet to stop. Joshua Robertson, who was the race leader, has been through the lane, topped up, 12 seconds of fuel, come out in 5th. So still looking good for him as the net race leader. Now I think we're going to get everyone.
Yeah, he actually does have a car in between, so I think that is Shane Ewan's in between Robertson and Oversilla, so Shane Ewan's being our only car there, not have pitted so far.
Am I crazy? Did you see Longworth on the jacks? It could be both. I reckon fair chance that it's both, but there's Longworth and Jackson through the pit lane, and they look like they're going to come back out in 4th or 5th, depending on the speed of the cars that are already out on track. So that is everyone through the pit lane for pass 2 now.
Yes, we did know that there's definitely not a chance of stretching that field anymore, so it is going to be all the way to the end now. 10 minutes left, or 11 and a half minutes are there on the clock, so about 12 laps or so. Very short circuit.
Pretty even Stevens through the pit lane. Obersteller might have actually just cut a little bit of a lead down with running a little longer. Newland's on the lane for a second time, and I think it's... Well, I have no idea why it is 4, if I'm honest with you. It's just having dramas of some kind, trying to stay out of the way.
I haven't seen any smoke, but is he running on fuel or something?
Well, he'd just been through the lane the lap before. I think that was even his out lap. So he might have had a problem with the pit stop. It's possible. It's bizarre and it's unfortunate. It's exactly 10 minutes left in this race now, and Robertson, pole sitter, got out to a 3-second lead on lap 1. And that's what he's got right now. So that very first lap really, really set him up comfortably. Hey, can you tell where the sunset is? Oh, and he's looped the rear. Right as we cut to him in the slow Dandenong corner, you see he's in first gear there. It has been a problem of these Mercedes. The downshifts third into second, second into first, can lock up the rear axle a little bit. The downshift's not perfectly smooth. Sagasar's gone and done the same thing at turn 4. What's happening? It's not a super slippery track, or it shouldn't be. Pollock, I think, got through for 6th in that. He had some tough opening laps, did Ben Pollock. He's persevered. He's got 6th right now.
Yeah, there we go. So we've seen Gagliardi there for another pit stop, around 20 seconds or so. Has come back out in around 15th place.
That's surprising. We're not sure what it's for. That's him a lap back. There's Sagasar, the same corner, the same problem. And Joshua Robertson, the race leader, he's had a problem further around the lap. He's lost about a second to that. I was just thinking that Obersteller was hardly chipping away tenths of a second per lap. He didn't have enough time left in this race to get there, but suddenly Robertson has had a misstep at the far side of the circuit. So into the S as he goes, and he just runs it in a little hot. Might have had that rear tires locking up a little bit on the downshifts and gone straight rather than turn the wheel in and loop it. And now he's a little wide off the curb of 4 as well. Pretty smooth for Obersteller, who can see him, who can smell some blood in the water for the race winning him.
Yeah, might have just opened that door there to Obersteller, so definitely that last lap about 8 tenths or so. Whether or not as well just closing that gap is now putting pressure on Robertson. Just get the heart rate up a little bit.
It's 1.5 seconds for the race lead, and well, it's only a couple of minutes of racing. It's going to be 6 more laps just from where they are around the circuit. Jordan, one of the earliest stoppers, still sits in 3rd, which is where he was before the pit phase. Behind him, Longworth in 4th, but the late race pace of Jake Jackson in the Porsche could put some pressure on there as well. That has consistently been what we've seen from this Porsche 911 across this championship. Started out absolutely the quickest car, got trimmed back a little bit, to now it isn't strong in qualifying, isn't necessarily strong at the start of the race, but maintains enough pace and enough drivability towards the end. And I think that shows, because Jake Jackson's the fastest car out on track of everyone at the moment. Quicker than the leaders, quicker than Jackson. Oh, and Longworth's driven it off, and Jackson goes through up into 4th. Pressure might have been too much.
Tricky rejoin there for Paul Longworth as well. We'll just have a look here at the PRS replay, see what has gone wrong there under that United Bridge into turn 6, which has just claimed so many victims so far. Yeah, it's just pointing the wrong way. Thankfully, just enough runoff there.
He gets out of shape very early, and at this point he's just struggling to stop the runaway train, and he runs out of space, and it goes down the very generously sized gravel track. When my parents first got married, I think they bought their first house in Springvale South, so he nearly ended up out there. Audi's wide off the curb for Anderson just behind this.
I thought you were going to work in some generously sized pun.
No. Now, Lamborghini's not for position, but it has been tidied up and is looking quick. Here's Tom Brown and Patrick Panson, just a BMW versus BMW straight fight. when they're close to the final couple of corners, and just behind them, Jack Anderson's the biggest mover of this race because he started on the very back row of the grid. He's now inside of the top 10. How's his pace tracking? Not bad, actually. There's some fight left in this one. Still 1.5 seconds at the race lead, and these are the closest cars battling on track. Brown runs a little wide in turn 1, but it's a short run into 2 and 3, which makes it difficult for you to get past here.
Yeah, I'd have to say Tom Brown, one of our biggest scanners there, both between him and Jack Anderson as well. So haven't seen too much there of Anderson and Hardigan there in 9th and 10th. They've just been chipping away.
Brown a little wide at that corner as well. Struggling for front grip at this point. Track's got even cooler. So it's at 20 Celsius, 18 in the air. Patrick Panton not in position to really try to outbrake down the inside, but definitely showing the nose, and the pressure is very effective in pass 2. I think the white flag is out, but
No, it's actually,
no, yeah.
I've been watching the lap count. The wasn't deciding the actual lap count was going higher, so it does look like we've squeezed in 1 extra just because of this extra pace here.
This is the lead group, and just so consistent and equal between the two of them. Overstella gotten closer, not able to do much more.
Sorry, I was saying too fast. Actually meant too slow. So Robertson is just slightly off the pace there, which is actually going to extend his lap by 1 more. As we just do see these, we do see that eyelet car there of Patrick Panton just showing nose, but wisely choosing to stay out of it here at the moment. He's just trying to line up Tom Brown here at the moment. Jay Anderson there in behind as well. Oh, a bit of a wiggle coming out.
Yeah, it was as close as he was the last time, but really thought more about getting down the inside. And as they battle, it does bring Jack Anderson into this as well. It'll be 1.5 more laps for this group. Oh, mega brakes on the Audi. How about it? And parks it. And parks it if you don't mind. Wow. I don't think there was too much dirty from that. It just seemed so strong. So strong on the brakes. And our leaders, Robertson and Overstella in the Mercedes' have started the final lap. Wow, that might save Tom Brown's skin. Robertson almost looking for the clean sweep of pass 2 though. With the pole position, with a great start, with lead basically every lap except through the pit stops. He is going to take the checkered flag for the win. Now here's Tom Brown under pressure from Jack Anderson. The brakes so strong for the Audi here a couple laps ago. This time he doesn't manage it. Can you overtake in the final couple of corners here? We haven't seen it yet. Audi gets a really, really solid drive, but that checkered flag comes up too quickly. 25 minutes of Sandown in Pass 2, and Joshua Robertson delivers the masterclass ahead of Oberstella, Ian Jordan, Jake Jackson, Ben Pollock, Paul Longworth, Tom Brown, Jack Anderson, Patrick Panson, and Matt Hardigan as the top 10. Following them, we had Hayden Jackson, David Baz, and Hamish Munro on the lead lap. John Gagliardi, question around what the second pit stop was for. It dropped him off the lead lap. And Mark Cochran had significant damage to that Lamborghini, and that delayed him. Shane Newlands, Braden Sagasar, Rob McGrath, Sam Batty also all delayed. Ken O'Hara got 3 laps into this race before he is ended. Well, that's just a taster of the action still to come here in the simrigs.com Oz Pro-Am Sim Series, because Pro-Am, bigger fields, faster drivers is coming up. Stick with us on SimSpeed TV. So when we come back, 2 more races from Sandown.
So you do like it? I love it, yeah.
Now when you go pre-owned, you can enjoy the same feeling you get with a new Toyota. Tested and backed by Toyota.
Upgrade your car, mate.
This? Yeah, no big deal.
Toyota certified. Pre-owned in a class of its own. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
This is your chance to get behind the wheel. The opportunity to race just like the pros. From the grassroots levels, where we all got our start, to the most popular race cars on the planet. From the fairgrounds of Nashville to the high banks of Daytona, to tracks that will never be forgotten. Realistic driving, intense competition, all from the comfort of your own home. This is the ultimate motorsports simulation. This is iRacing.
Welcome back as we continue racing from Sandown in the simrigs.com Oz Pro-Am Sim Series. Pass 2, our development category done. Now up to the Pass Oz Pro-Am Sim Series. And they are going to have a little bit more racing in the standard format with a short qualifying, a short sprint, and then their longer pit stop race. And of course, our broadcast of every round of the simrigs.com Oz Pro-Am Sim Series brought to us by our partners simrigs.com, offering a large range of affordable and high-end racing simulator equipment for the beginner and pro alike. Australian owned and operated product advice and warranty service, single product or full turnkey rigs, and you can use the promo code OzProAm for a 5% discount at checkout. Also, Echuca Toyota. Echuca Toyota is a family-owned and operated business that understands purchasing and owning a vehicle is a unique and important experience for our guests. We are committed to the Toyota brand, holding the full vehicle range. This means that when you come to our dealership, you'll be able to view and test drive any Toyota that interests you. We also stock a diverse range of quality and certified pre-owned vehicles, each of which has been hand-picked by us. For more, head to echucatoyota.com.au. Ferguson Group Media are a full-stack media company that work with SME businesses across website development, e-commerce, social media strategy, and execution. For information, head to fergusongroupmedia.com. Well, it's David Haynes and Nick Skarayev here with you on SimSpeed TV with Jay Kennedy on the production and the replays, and we had to pick up a couple of replays in Pass 2. It's a very exciting track, no doubt, here at Sandown. It encourages everyone to really push, but there are mistake generators at a couple corners around here. The curbs, the paving tends to change. I'm not sure the grip is entirely consistent around this circuit, Nick.
Yeah, and we've just seen it's quite tricky. We've seen cars have issues coming in and out of corners, so in particular they just looks like that trail braking when they're braking and turning can just kind of cause all sorts of strife. So
we said the standard format now for the Pro-Am Sim Series, and that is qualifying into the 10-minute race 1. Very short, sharp action that is. And that sets the grid for the 40-minute race 2. And 40 minutes does start to stretch the fuel restriction and makes it a 2-stop race there as well. Subtly different balance of performance for the GT3 cars in Pro-Am versus in the Pass 2 development series, and of course that just accounts for the fact that some cars can be very quick but very difficult to drive, and that allows the pros to maybe get a little more out of them, and so it's only fair to have subtly different balance of performance, one or the other. Overall, it looks pretty similar. Big horsepower for the Ferraris and the Lamborghinis, not much for the Porsches, and the drivable BMWs, Mercedes, etc., Audis in the middle. And this is the points championship. Things are looking pretty good for Lachlan Capel. He's ahead of Marcus Watson, Kobe Williams, Dylan O'Shea, Daniel Yeaman, Sebastian Flock, Ross Rizzo, Brad Watson, Christopher Henn, and Adam Funslow. Over in the AM standings, Tim Harris still leads that one, ahead of Jeffrey Wang, Stephen Tonkin, Sam Lehman, Tom Wilkinson, Gustavo Cirillo, Jordan Ferguson, Tony Baker, Glenn Riddle, and Brandon Groke. And, well, what can we say other than we're very thankful to have some high quality webcams to show you tonight. That is, do we check we're not trademark infringing here? That's Matthew Bowler, and I honestly can't believe it. He's second in qualifying at the moment.
yeah, he seems to be not affecting his field of vision there. Oh,
Maybe.
yeah, it's come close to clipping that wall though. I think he's taking some harder lines.
Maybe it's real racehorse stuff. It's like having his blinkers on that, stops him being spooked by anything other than the racing line. Oh dear. This is Hayden Veld. Not a certified childcare professional. And he's 8th at the moment outright. Apparently, whole of the AMs. Is one of the few Lamborghinis. Sebastian Amadio's best friend, Sebastian Flock, is 7th at the moment. Navigating that final corner, taking plenty of the curbs, but it doesn't seem like the Lamborghini enjoys them at all. Gaiman has pipped Matthew Bowler for 2nd as they run in the moment. Oh, that is that turn 8. I don't know which Lamborghini that was, but they've clearly just got to be so careful, so dangerous at speed, committed and pitching in there. This is Andrew Dyson. Surrounded by all of simrig.com's greatest equipment. Let's look at how he attacks a qualifying lap in the Porsche 911 GT3R. Again, relatively limited in the power. It makes qualifying not its forte compared to the longer format of racing. And I think he's got 50% of the apexes so far this lap.
He's putting on a very good thinking face there. Maybe he's thinking of the other one. You actually see one thing you notice from having that triple screen there, you can see how much compression there is on the head movement coming into those curves. So you can actually see it's quite a rough ride as they come around. Surely production cars would be a little bit smoother, but yeah, these GT3 cars, you actually, what a late apex there they take on the last try and really open it up.
Yeah, he went personal best in the first sector, missed about 3/10 in the middle sector, and I therefore think that one wasn't an improvement, but his optimal lap time, the cumulative of his best sectors, will have improved from that. So we'll know that there is time out there if he can, be consistent for all of the corners and, play a full set of his A game. And that is the danger of that corner at the end of the long straight. Flock will, have elevated heart rate after that one. Being purple through sector 1 and sector 2, he was tracking for pole position, so committed, and the final sector there, right at the start of it, tripping him up. Porsche's not looking like they have any problems with him at all. In fact, if anything, the onboard from Dyson, it looked quite understeery, quite pushy. So different makes, different shapes, different layouts, different strengths and weaknesses. Two from Dylan Shepherd in the AM category. Here's Kobe Williams. Tough to miss, even if you wanted to. He's still in the fight for the championship this season as well. We saw not too far adrift of the top of the town. He's had some very strong tracks, some very strong weeks this season. Some others that have been not quite as fortunate. Green Machine looks to improve, but just goes short of it. Matthew Bowler's improving. He's had the purple first sector, I do think. And had a drama completing that lap. Let's go look at the scheme. Yeah, this is a new paint for Bowler and Velds. Oh, yeah. Oh, a lot of smoke in front of Adam Funslow. And there's probably a car out there somewhere in that runoff. Number 32, Porsche improves himself a chunk of positions. Is that Dale Carpenter's just gone for a little explore, parked it up with one of the fire trucks. Having a look around that history we were talking about.
Okay, those Toyota liveries just absolutely popping on that Audi BMW.
I'm dying for the day someone heads down to a Chuka Toyota and trades in their Audi R8 to get something. I reckon a couple of years old Audi R8 and a straight swap with a 70 series Land Cruiser is probably a fair trade.
The one's decreasing in value and the other one's increasing. I know that they're talking Toyota, they are committed to continuing on the 70 series. There was always this rumours for ages that they were going to get rid of them, but being such a great, I think the new thing they have to add is the autonomous braking, so that's coming out in the Cruiser to keep them in the safety rating game, just so they can continually sell them.
My respect for the 70 series Land Cruiser is everyone who buys one seems to actually, use it for work on a farm, on a property. A lot of them in fleets around mine sites and stuff. The 200 series Land Cruisers and whatever. A couple too many of them in the school run. But 70 series Land Cruiser actually does work and people buy them for that. So the autonomous emergency braking is probably going to save a couple of cows.
Absolutely. I did have a workmate which they actually didn't have ABS, so they were pretty bare bones. I don't know, you can't beat Toyota quality. Whenever it comes to rental cars, surely the Corolla's there at the top of the list. Oh, we've just seen I think that was either BMW or another car off as well. So just seems to be once these cars hit about the 10-minute mark, just everything seems to fall apart. Oh, and another car has spun coming out of that corner there.
Well, it's sort of, your last flying lap on qualifying. You give it all. It's either you improve or you put it in the wall. That's kind of how you have to approach the end of this session. So we are looking at John Merritt. 64. He's 28th outright. Could be tracking for an improvement. Middle sector not hot. First sector very strong. And so it's all about just tidy at the end here. It looked a little unstable on the curb. He's trying to improve on a minute 7.4. And he does. By a little bit.
Just hearing from Matthew Bowler off camera that he can't really see there with that mask on.
Yeah, I don't think that's an FIA certified South Park costume. I don't think it's got a fire safety rating on it. So, okay, so we'll get to the grid in 1 second. I'm on achukatoyota.com.au, and they've got a 2017 Jaguar XE 25T R Sport sedan available pre-owned. So
Oh, how many smackers we talking about for that one?
it's listed at 44,800 drive away.
What a deal! That's about half. There'll probably be at least half the price of what it was new.
Yeah, that's interesting. But Kobe Williams has the pole position from Daniel Yeaman, from Matthew Bowler, from Sebastian Flock. Luke Fitt puts a Ferrari into the top 6, and Lachlan Capel is the best BMW starting out of 6th place. So that will be very interesting to see. The Lamborghini's proving quick but unstable. Hayden Veld in the Mercedes has the AM class pole position, and he is well clear of his key rivals in that championship, because behind him comes pro drivers Christopher Henn, Dylan O'Shea, Tyson Broad, Chu Kang, and Tim Orty. Joshua Fitt, Dale Carpenter, and Andrew Dyson before we get to AM championship leader and second qualified in that class back there in his BMW, Liam Caplice and Adam Funslow. And then a couple more AM drivers back here with Ben Jeffrey, Danny Davison, Harry Lawrence, Tom Wilkinson, Sam Lehman, John Merritt, and Dylan Shepherd, Richard Brookfield, Adam Jepson, Jeffrey Wang, Brady Buchanan, Jordan Ferguson, and Tony Baker, Stephen Tonkin, Graham Smith. Kobe Williams, the pole sitter, is very eager to get this one underway, but we know that the flaggers are going to keep them a long way down the pit straight before they drop that green. 10-minute race right now to kick us off, flat out, start to finish, and then sets the grid for race 2 with a top 10 invert.
You can just see them all inside each other's heads there. Got Kobe Williams in that hot seat, so you just never know what he's got in the back of his head. All the way back there, you can see just how tightly they're bunching in there. Kobe Williams there on the left, he's all the way on the left. He's not going to let anyone come up the inside.
No doubt. He's got that well and truly covered. Green flag when? Green flag now, and they'll race down towards turn 1, fanning out behind. Very, very compressed field for the start of this one. You hold your breath, and the inevitable happens. The Lamborghini of Flock out wide. More contact there for Veld, I think it was. And you've got to drop their BMW with dramas as well.
Yeah, we did see... I think that was Veld actually rolled across the front of the circuit, so it's caused all kinds of carnage there, but it does look like everyone's underway. No one's actually at this stage taken the way I think it might have been. Actually, no, Matthew Bowler there, so no one's taking the pits here. They're going to try and see if they can get it around.
Oh, Ferrari really unstable off the curbs there, and you can see O'Shea trying to cover off AM leader Hayden Veld. Mercedes once again putting out very, very quick on the opening lap. Clearly the tyres in the window, the car stable. Very reactive O'Shea. Veld in the Hunt's car not able to get around. Williams with a great start to his race. Again, not able to go with. That's Chu Kang in the Ferrari, a little off the track. Thankful to not get stuck in the mud out there. Back straight. Williams still leads from Yeaman, from Fitt, from O'Shea. We're looking at Veld. Tyson Broad in immediately behind. You've just got to be so careful in those Lamborghinis and Ferraris at that part of the track.
You can see Veld very, very keen there, wanting to get through there. I think it's still an O'Shea up ahead. Oh, as we have seen, I think that is one of the iLake. Yeah, it does look like Brookfield there.
Yeah, 3 cars around Dandenong Road corner. Oh, hello.
Yeah. Came out of nowhere, we're up. They're going to have to see if we can get that from a different angle there. Look like that 2 cars completely out of control.
Well, he's got a meatball to go with that potato livery now, I'm sure. Just a little bit offline. Anything upset the rear of the car in that corner is deadly for the mid-engine cars.
Oh, it's all crossed up, and it's actually had a one of the. Yeah, so gee, I think that was almost 4 or 5 cars off just in that couple of corners. You'd have to say that whoever had that potato livery would have his orbits liquefied there, going from about 250 k's an hour.
You would say mashed?
Yeah, mashed. You'd feel like a bit of a mashed potato there. Car 37, Chu Kang there, choosing to go to the pit, so obviously maybe it sustained some damage and choosing not to go on. So, gee, we've already had probably about 6 or 7 cars so far, all having various issues.
This is proving a very brutal round and very brutal track for the Ferraris and Lamborghinis. They can be quick, they qualified very well, but just so tough to drive through turn 8 here.
Gee, I thought Hayden Veld there and Dylan O'Shea, it almost looked like.
This is a bit silly from Dylan O'Shea, to be honest, because he's not going to cost him any points, and he's throwing moves, throwing blocks, taking risk here to try to cover off Veld.
Yeah, surely. We did see him go for that fade as well, so you've seen Veld. Surely he's.
See, at a certain point, and this is just me, I speak for no one but myself, but I'd make a move, they would react late, blocking to cover it, and I'd just pretend they hadn't.
Yeah. You can definitely see Veld there, even with the drive out of there, so you can see that he's almost... You can see at the end of the straights there, he's almost up against side. Oh yeah, so seeing Dylan O'Shea though, he's going to have that inside line. He's going to drift off to the. Yeah, it's probably good that we're not having a look at the zoom at the moment. Still see calm as anything though. Could end up being.
I think it's relative to what the normal Veld baseline is. Here we go. That's kosher. That's kosher for me.
You can see it is a tricky corner there to cross them up on.
Just really big different strengths and weaknesses to the Porsche and the Mercedes around a track like this. The way the curbing is, the way the long straights are, but then at either end you do have some technical complexes of corners. We're going to get a repeat again. O'Shea to the left, Veld to the right, not able to get around at 8. What's going to happen?
Oh, gee, you just see O'Shea just parks it right in front there. It's almost, you'd have to think, well, maybe try and push O'Shea into a mistake as we've seen. We'll be able to come back to those two later. Some great battles though around the other part of the track there. We are seeing, that is Dyson. You actually see that these two, casting our eyes though, they are a little bit slow. So the actual 2 cars in behind there are about about 2 or 3 tenths faster than these two flying up ahead. So we've actually Now Dylan O'Shea not only has Hayden Bell to worry about, he's got Tyson Broad, Joshua Fitt and Dyson here. I'm looking at Dyson at the moment. You can see Hayden Bell there. All on the back there of Dylan O'Shea just up the road. So you can say these three are almost working together at the moment. While, yeah, those two up there, they're actually slowing themselves up. Oh, it's ridiculously smoke though. That does look Bell.
Yeah, Hayden Bell takes the shortcut, probably given a slowdown there. I don't know how that is going to work out in this sector. Manages to keep Broad behind him. Sequence of corners there. It does continue to just box them up in this fight though, with Fit, with Dyson there as well. Here is Flock. We saw that car really struggle at this part of the track, and again, he's been off with an excursion.
What I've understood, it's actually noticed that Luke Fitt is just slowed up enough so he's out in front of Dylan O'Shea at the moment, so it's going to be, we've almost got 5 or 6 car train now, so all battling now for that first place there. Yeaman well and truly up the road there in second, Kobe Williams in first, so those first 2 places are pretty safe through the stage. Really heating up, and we've only got approximately a lap and a half left.
I think you'd clench your jaw in a Lamborghini every time you started approaching those S's. Are we approaching the last lap of the race? We are not. We're going to get 2 more, and it's got to be by only a second or so that Kobe Williams comes across with enough time still in hand that they don't throw the white flag on him. What that does mean is he's got another lap. He's got to try to hold off Daniel Yeaman. Not much between them there in first and second. Back at Luke Fitt, the Ferrari holding down third. His teammate in O'Shea still right with him.
Yeah, absolutely. So you can see these two so up far up the road though, but Yeaman has done an awesome job though reeling in Kobe Williams. He's about a second and a bit adrift now, but he's about 5/10 or so he's seen some really great late pace here.
That's the strength of the Lamborghini there. It's got sort of 3 full tenths just down the back straight. Lamborghini's got power. It's got straight line speed, but you've got to be a little more cautious with it across the curves. In, you know, the east end and west end of the circuit, and there is the white flag. The last lap. 4 tenths, 3 tenths. Quick down the pit straight. Tough through turn 1, the curbs of 2 and 3, and then quick down the back straight. And it is on here. O'Shea getting even closer to the Ferrari of Fit as the race goes on. Veld right there, the leading AM class car in his Mercedes.
You just see how great of a run Veld gets on that Porsche chair. He's right underneath though. He's trying to find a way around. We did see him come off there on that turn 6.
Gonna squeeze into the middle. He's gonna hold him to the inside line like a promise. Too wide. How does it not end in tears here? Too wide across the curb, and now it will. A little shove. Veld looks to cross back underneath. I don't think this is over until they cross the checkered flag. Williams is about there. He survives the final extra lap to hold on to the win. And the almost predictable happens. That's a move and a half. Hello. O'Shea spins around. He's going to cost himself.
Oh, he's almost right on the racing line as well, but thankfully they've managed to get around him. So it wasn't, did look like, I think that was Tyson Broad in that.
Say he caught the broadside. Really heart-in-mouth stuff in the final sector there of race number 1, knowing this sets the grid for race number 2 with a top 10 invert as well. Very willing stuff around Sandown. Kobe Williams, all class out front to take the win from Yeaman, from Fit. Veldsnick's through to 4th, so does Tyson Broad. And then Joshua Fitt in 6th, Dyson, Hen, Ben Jeffrey, Dale Carpenter is going to get the pole position for the upcoming 40-minute pit stops race. And there's Danny Davison. Dylan O'Shea tried to spin Tyson Broad, spun himself, finishes outside of the top 10. John Merritt snuck a lot of positions forward in that race, and I don't think we quite caught it. He gets 13th, Harry Lawrence 14th. There's Shepard, Lehman, and Harris, AM-class competitors battling over some points there. Harris, the leader coming into this round, is going to get 4th place points out of that first race. And Lachlan Capel, Sebastian Flock, and Jeffrey Wang to the top 20. Adam Funslow, Tim Audie, Tony Baker, Jordan Ferguson, Liam Caplice, Matthew Bowler, Richard Brookfield, Tom Wilkinson, Adam Jepson, Chu Kang. First car off the lead lap in what was some action-packed later laps and a very chaotic first lap. Some names down here in the 20s to 30s that you expect to look to move forward in the coming race. And Tonkin and Buchanan off the lead lap. And I don't think we saw Graham Smith. So in a sentence, Nick, what was that 10 minutes plus a lap of race 1?
In a sentence or one word, I was going to say pandemonium. In particularly, we are going to have a look here. We've got a few minutes until the next race starts, so we'll see, unpack exactly what had happened. So we did see Hayden Veld up the inside. They actually did scrape wheel to wheel, thankfully. Not too tough. Veld trying to go around the outside. What a masterclass pass. So manages to make it happen there. It did look like Dylan O'Shea, though. It wasn't too far. He was going to try and respond straight away.
As they'd gone side by side through the S's there, Veld and O'Shea, it had let Broad sneak up on them, and he's been very ambitious in that final corner. It's not so much for us to unpack. And, that is ambitious but fair, and then he does get helped.
I'd have to, yeah, as much as O'Shea probably, he did give, I'd have to say that send that he returned it back on Hayden Veld, he did give him a little bit of space there, but yeah.
It whets the appetite for what's to come. We're going to take a little break here on SimSpeed TV, and when we come back, there's 40 minutes with the pit stops for the simrigs.com Oz Pro Am Sim Series Round 9 from Sandown.
So you do like it?
I love it, yeah.
Now when you go pre-owned, you can enjoy the same feeling you get with a new Toyota. Tested and backed by Toyota.
Upgrade your car, mate.
This? Yeah, no big deal.
Toyota certified. Pre-owned in a class of its own. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Final race of the evening for simrigs.com Oz Pro-Am Sim Series, 40 minutes and an expected 2 pit stops around Sandown. With the top 10 invert in effect, let's take a look at how that sets the grid for this race. It means the copper and black Mercedes 111 of Dale Carpenter will start on pole position, sharing that front row with Ben Jeffrey, our AM pole winner in that way. Christopher Henn, Andrew Dyson, Joshua Fitt, Tyson Broad through to 6th place. And then we find Hayden Veld starting out of 7th, Luke Fitt, Daniel Gaiman, and Kobe Williams 8th, 9th, and 10th. So the race 1 winner starting out of 10th place there, and the rest as they finished race number 1.
It's actually good. That does put Dylan O'Shea a little bit behind Daniel Yeaman and, behind Hayden Veld and Tyson Broad. So it's about 6 cars in between. So maybe had a bit of a chance in that cool down session. A new start here for our feature race.
Sun's getting pretty low, so it could get well dark by the end of this 40-minute race. Pit entry, pit exit. Unusual little things here at Sandown, and it's a 60 km/h pit lane limit as well. So how will that define the strategy? With more than 30 cars out on track, all formed up, all ready to go down towards the starting place. And Carpenter's got his nose a little behind Jeffrey as they start here. Not a great launch from Ben Jeffrey. He immediately gets swamped, so too eager early, gets caught out in the late phase of the start. And Jeffrey will convert. There's some cars making contact further back. Daniel Yeaman's the car there, sideways across the curb. Don't go across one of those big curves perpendicular and slowly. And there's more drama. There's Carpenter, the track half blocked. What's happened to the pole sitter in turns 2, 3, and 4? They were level here through turn 1. Tyson Broad back off behind him, jumps down the inside. They both launch across the curb. Christopher Henn shoots through into the race lead.
Yeah, gee, that was a really sharp move there by Dale Carpenter. He looks like he wanted to try and keep his nose out in front, but just went in so quick.
Dylan O'Shea around and almost blocking the entry there, and he will take it, which will probably make an unsafe pit entry at a guess. I'm not sure exactly how they enforce the minutiae around Sandown, but a very chaotic opening start to this 40-minute race. Christopher Henn still leads. Jeffrey in second. Here is very clumsy move into turn 4 from Hayden Veld. Danny Davison cops yet more damage.
Yeah, did actually quite well there in our first race of Danny Davidson. Or it's just hard to know there. Veld was well and truly up the inside, and yeah, not aiming the way that you want.
I have never seen that before, but the reverse light illuminated in the center of the dash when he put it in reverse gear. A lot of damage to that BMW. people. And he has a train lining up behind him here with Harris, Sheck, Lehman, who all battled each other for podium positions and big points in race number 1. Now, it looks like the best place is Shepherd to get through, and also taking advantage of the opportunity, Sebastian Flock in the Lamborghini sneaks a couple extra spots. There is definitely some significant damage costing pace to Capel's BMW, but he'll want to get far enough into this first stint that he doesn't force himself into an extra pit stop.
Yeah, absolutely. We're just having a quick look there. Matthew Bowler, our biggest mover, up 8 positions. He's up into 8th place here at the moment.
Lamborghini not on its usual line. That's always a recipe for danger, but not for disaster this time. Next place.
See who, I think our leading pitting car, obviously a little bit early to be pitting here at the moment, but Adam Funslow there all the way down in 28th place. So we've had quite a few cars so far. About 7 cars or so having to take the pit entry here. Tyson Broad also.
Got a little too much damage.
Actually see that wheel work there from Capel on the straight as well, so is making that BMW a little bit unstable there. We'll see when he straightens up a bit, but you can just see those micro adjustments as he's trying to.
He's going to get back through on Shepherd. So did Shepherd cut the course a little bit at the S's? He might have. Side by side with the Lamborghini off the normal line. One winner loops it on the curb, high sides the Mercedes, and who was that? Trying to help him back around. There's just no room to loop that car. Back in front might have been Dyson, who had no room to avoid.
Yeah, he's looking a little bit bummed out there. We'll have to cut to a replay here, so we're looking at we're looking at Kobe Williams just a little bit further up the road. You see that front splitter already with a little bit of damage on it. Oh, he's pretty much well and truly sideways even before. Oh, gee, Dyson trying to go to the right hand side as a way to get through, but unfortunately.
Yeah, so turning into turn 4 from up on the curb, got the rear loose, and the exit curb really just helped it ballerina and finish him off in a way. This is Christopher Henn still leading the way. And Jeffrey, air-class runner, really relishing a bit of clean air here, running with the pack in second still, but he's being caught by Hayden Veld, the AM winner of race 1. Josh Fitt in the Porsche going along with them, so he'd score second pro points if they finished as they were at the moment. It's, one finishing order points for the pros, one finishing order points for the AMs as if they were, GT3s versus GT4s or whatever. So still a great position for Fit. Looks like a slow Lamborghini might have slow up a little bit, cuts back across the nose in the final corner. And this is almost a repeat of something we saw earlier. The Lamborghini's off its normal line, the rear breaks out, and you owe Jay Hansen royalties.
Yeah, so mashed potatoes again there. Exactly the same way as he went before. So.
You always know what you're going to get with potatoes.
about to make a potato can reference, but the quality that we have coming through here is just magnificent here from SimSpeed.
If you're watching at home, just set your broadcast to 240p.
Yeah.
Not been an easy round for Chukang in the Ferrari. Easy at all. Here he is in turn 2 and the rear lets go before he even has a chance to have the curbs 1-2 punch and finish the job. Contact down at Dandenong Road between Jepson and the 151 of Luke Fit. So we've seen cars get out of sorts early, not be able to stop it, and in this case...
Oh, again, we had a BMW did that last time there, and it's just, and the same driver again has crossed it up coming in there, and he's done it's mirrored exactly what he done last time, but taking out a Ferrari this time instead of a Lamborghini, obviously by accident. But
I mean, the similarity is uncanny. This is the battle for the AM class, and Jeffrey gets it up across the curb. No traction, and Veld drives down underneath and into the lead of class. Not too many laps away from the pit stop starting to kick off as well. Not this lap exactly, but they'll need to think about it shortly.
how good does that Porsche sound? So you can see actually Ben Jeffrey just a little bit wide there, choosing to maybe stay away from that curbing there with the Mercedes. I think that curbing's almost scared a few people.
Racing further into that sunset, quite dark in some of the corners of the track. And leads, and does not pit. Tell you what's surprising, he's getting close to maybe almost lapping Kobe Williams, race 1 winner. If you disappeared that scoring pylon and you just focused on Williams, you'd think, oh yeah, he's out front leading again. But unfortunately, he's almost a lap down after how much time he lost getting sort of stuck at this part of the track here. You just can't 180 the car there while other drivers are coming along. Shepard off the circuit, he was running either 3rd or 4th in AM class, and he's tumbling down the order as well. One of the really strong performing drivers of race 1 in his class. Spells closing in on the outright lead.
You can see that sun coming over there from the west of the circuit. You'd have to say the city side.
Hen pits. Veld, Jeffrey carry on. I think he smelt what was coming and he's decided, let's get our first pit stop out of the way.
Yeah, you can see Hayden Veld very quick out on track at the moment. I think almost the quickest car, maybe aside from Matthew Bowler. So Daniel Yeaman though as well. So he's done I think his last lap there for Yeaman, 106.7. So it's actually about 0.5 of a second faster than a lot of the cars around him at the moment. So he's just starting to chop his way through the field.
He looked really quick at the end of race number 1 as well. You know, he was coming at Kobe Williams, but probably didn't have enough time for it. So we'll see if that continues in this longer race. Here's John Merritt in the Audi. Not too many Audis, but it might have similar handling to the Lambo and needs some respect at the Dandenong Road end of the track. Real rush on pit lane now at the end of lap 11. And as we ride with John Merritt, he's part of it.
You can see, gee, even that entry and exit there for Sandown has that really got to take it quite far out to that right-hand side. Oh, gee, Andrew Dyson taking a clearly got all four wheels off the ground though, so definitely not too afraid of the curves. Just going to have a look at the VRS replay. He completely got that Porsche airborne, or almost airborne. We'll call it airborne.
Yeah, we'll call it exactly that. Not an easy trip. Andrew Dyson, only driver not to have pitted at this point, so he has gone ultra long in the Porsche. That has been one of the strengths to this car. It doesn't have as much throttle as everyone else, so maybe that helps too, but the inevitable happens now. He's looking for an overcut on some of those that he was racing. Remember, before the pit stop, Veld was all over Hen. Hen stopping a little earlier has preserved his position. Veld might be carrying just a little more fuel after that. Ferrari gets wide off the curb there. There's Dyson rejoining the race. Really short stop. Dyson slots in between Ben Jeffrey and Matthew Bowler. Horse racing silks like rear wing.
Yeah, potentially. I'll have to try and get a good zoom on it. Wrangling in Jay's camera skills here. Really, we've got a... oh, there we go.
I think it's part of the Cool by Team or something else.
We hope you haven't just eaten your rice bubbles, because that could make you motion sick, but that that is the logo there on that rear wing.
Now, here's a driver who hasn't been on our lips much tonight. Harry Lawrence had been very, very strong in the Mercedes in some of the other rounds. And obviously finished race 1 in 14th, started this race in 14th, up into 8th at the moment after the first round of pit stops and looking to charge back through.
Yeah, we'll have a look at done about a 107 flat, so has struggled. Is quite consistent, but has not broken into that 106 barrier that we've got so far, as we are going to cut here to another VRS replay.
Uh-oh.
Oh, don't tell me it is maybe the same part of the circuit again. It is down the back. It is Brady Buchanan again. Did make it through though, but all kinds of crossed up. Adam Bunslow here in that ILEC car, so potentially they had come Cropper as well. So good. So you can see coming through, you can see that little bit of brakes there. Oh, oh. Very, very lucky there of Sam Lehman there, seeing he would have got a good look at that underside. See if we can even maybe catch it in slow motion. You can see that the car comes across. Oh.
It's like he shakes his head. He shakes his head as it happens. Yeah, the Porsche just a little out wide, just flat on the curb. Whoa. You can drive through it.
That was very Days of Thunder. We're not even at Calder Park. Talking Victorian circuits, or we'd probably in the news though, Calder Park bringing back, well, not only bringing back drag racing, but also with their circuit racing as well. So I think the last round was their club racing series, and they're going to start back, I think, next year with it as well. So I think they're starting to tease whether or not they're going to have touring cars back there. We need either Jay or David probably a bit more ears on the ground. I know that Jay confirming that Formula V is running there, so yeah, it'd be great to see Calder Park back at it. I was down there a couple of weeks back. They do their Friday night off-street drag event now, and I'd have to tell you, for essentially what is a test and tune, like the stands were almost completely packed, and that was just people watching that's just test and tunes of people running their cars down the drag strip. Of course, we do see a drop air car off there, car 777, Tom Wilkinson.
Yeah, that's the final corner. And he's been well adventurous there. Little sideways, and then the curb just finishes that off for him. It's really pressing through the field at the moment in this phase of the race. You've got Velve coming back, Christopher Hen up front, and then a little bit behind them, this four-way scrap that is fully occupying Andrew Dyson's attention, looking across that over-under with Matthew Bowler. My oh my, so we came to that at just the right time. Oh, and then not far off, Joshua Fitt and Ben Jeffrey there as well. Mercedes seems to have some good grunts still, which is necessary right here, but then also stability through the fast stuff seems to be a strength for it. Not matching the straight line speed of the Lamborghini, we know that thing is a danger, a terror, maybe a little bit of a handful. Looking to get his nose under Harry Lawrence here. Playing around the outside if he can. I think he can do that. Yeah, but then Lawrence is smart enough to look for a crossback, but isn't going to get it. Is that Lambo of Yeaman missing its rear deck? You're right. Or, sure.
What does it have? Normally a carbon fiber rear.
No, I think it's got it. It's just dark and my eyesight's off. All good. David Haynes is imagining things. I'm not imagining a great battle up front though. Velve within a couple tenths. Christopher Hen in the Lamborghini off his regular line, and that often spells disaster. Runs it wide at Dandenong Road, and again Velve looks tucked back underneath. I cannot express how I would sooner leave my child with a dingo than hang with that.
You see, not even phased. Didn't even crack a smile. He's maybe about to now. He did. You can see him every time he glances in the mirror. Oh, gee, did take it very wide in that spot there, but it does look like he's covered off Christopher Hen. He's definitely got the pace.
Headlights are on for everyone as the darkness sets in. Oh, gosh, you've got to be so careful with that wall on the far side of that curve at turn 4 there, getting close to that. There will be a second round of pit stops. Everyone went 10, 11 or 12 laps into this one at the start. Hen is 9 laps into his stint now, so we've still got a bit more, maybe closer to 15 to go before we see more of the second stops.
You can see that last lap difference between the two. Yeah, G8 almost over 5/10 faster than Christopher Hen in behind, so Feld just really applying that pressure here at the moment, trying to make a bit of a break.
This is the stupidest little thing to notice, but the animated photographers around the circuit have different lenses on that are appropriate for how far away from the circuit they're standing. So there's one here on the left, right towards the apex there. And he's got a little lens on, but then there's another fellow who's he's standing further back and he's got a telephoto.
There you go. So just come through, we're seeing a car being pushed down the straight. You're seeing, Jay?
Hayden Veld up front is doing the good old karting trick of, ducking your head down the straight, trying to make sure you maximise that speed. Viola and Fit for third place. Super close in towards turn number 1. Porsche definitely still seems like a pretty strong car on the brakes. It's not strong across the curbs and it doesn't seem as strong in a straight line either. Second round of pit stops happening right now as Williams, Tyson Broad, Adam Funslow come in. So don't be surprised if we see some of these cars popped in at the end of this lap.
Yeah, in particular, I have to say Christopher Hen. So Hen choosing to go that extra lap in early, so potentially, surely we'll be seeing him come through sooner than later.
There goes Funslow, there goes Broad, and there goes Williams. Not pitting just yet. Kind of makes sense. If you're up front, you don't want to pit too early and get into any traffic. When you're a bit further behind, you can roll the dice or maybe try to get yourself out of that traffic. Jordan Ferguson, Jeffrey Wang, and Tim Orty here. Good drive off the final corner from Wang to get down the inside. They've got a car on pit exit that's going to emerge in front of them as well. Far enough ahead that I don't think it matters. Right now, the Ferrari builds a massive head of steam, looks 3 wide, in towards turn number 1. Tim Orty cleverly decides he's not going to create a massive accident, but now at turn 2, shaping up to get around the outside, now the inside of 3 and 4. So, getting mugged just a little bit. Ferguson there, but clean moves. Dyson short fueled his first stop, so now he's in for the second time.
Oh, we just saw that BMW there of Jordan Ferguson just taking a very, very wide hook of a line. John Merritt here in the Echuca Toyota Audi.
pit stops in not too long. Got Capel and Yeaman running here in 7th and 8th, and classed as teammates as far as the team's championship. They're leading that at the moment. Both of them very regularly inside of the top 10. Straight line speed for the Lamborghini compared to the BMW. Now, I'm sure they're trying not to tangle over each other, but see that the Ferrari and the Lamborghinis, just once they sort of click up into 5th or 6th gear, they just keep pulling when some of the other GT3s start to top out a little bit. Race going there. We can catch Ben Jeffrey in not too long. This is the outright leader, Hayden Veld, and is it pit lane time? No, still not yet. But it will be for Christopher Henn, who pitted a lap earlier the first time around. So might be letting it go with him, including Ben Jeffrey.
Just having a look how he was going there with his lap times. I can see Tim Orty. Oh, that was Tim Orty, sorry. So definitely has the pace there. He is substantially faster than the cars around him. I think Barcoby Williams is in 19th. So just yeah, I think having a few issues a little bit earlier on has cost you. Or he's going to have a nose here up on, I think that is Lehman.
Wang, Jeffrey Wang. So he was blocked a little bit through turn 1 by Ben Jeffrey coming out of the pit lane there. Wasn't quite sure what to do about it. And that just cost him a little bit of time, a little bit of the momentum. More drivers pitting, like Bowler, like Fit, like Sebastian Flock. Hayden Veld going one more, curiously. But yeah, Josh will fit there in that Simrig's Porsche. This could break the sound barrier. The Lamborghini and the Ferrari of Field and Kang streaming down straight. Oh, it does not look an easy car to drive, that Ferrari, not in the slightest. Sorry, you can't say that, it's a Ferrari.
You just see how wide, even coming out of that Kang, really having to be forced to go really aggressive on those curbs. He's right on the back there at Brookfield though, so potentially could make a move. We have seen Kang has had some issues earlier on.
So our leader Hayden Veld is pitting, and so does Daniel Yang, so does Lachlan Capel. And under pressure from Matthew Bowler, and this is going to be for the pro victory, but not necessarily the outright victory, which is a bizarre little set of circumstances. They got to be careful because some drivers not far behind them either in the shape of Joshua Sick, Andrew Dyson, etc. Things almost shapes up for a move. Goes the tail car park at turn 4, and as it goes on, I think this begins to favour the Porsches and such. Longer the race goes, the more I want to be in a Porsche. There's two of them lined up with Fit and Dyson, and then the one on the lap down looks like Luke Fit. Third in line with Fitz. So now everyone has made their final set of pit stops. It is this sprint to the end. led by Haydenfeld, 5 seconds over where the battle is brewing for the pros in Hen, Bowler, and Fit. And a race pace out of Yeaman and Capel as well means the top 10 could change a lot still.
Yeah, I'm just trying to work out there. I think Yeaman's last lap, I swear he had a 124 or something. He's 115, so that would have been his in and out lap perhaps. But let's see if he can get that hammer down and make an impression. We know that he's definitely got the pace there. He's currently in 7th place. Be able to pick one off there with Sebastian Flock just up ahead.
Big move from Bowler. He gets down the inside, makes a little bit of contact there, and Joshua Finn sneaks through as well. 1 or 2 lost. The Hen then gets back in front, potentially. We'll have a look here. So Bowler down the inside of Hen. Joshua Finn gets past.
You see?
No, sorry, no, lap car of the other Fit. Now this is for position in a 3-way fight in behind Hen. He runs wide of the apex in 2. He parks it for the apex in 4. And the train is ready to depart the station because look at Flock, Yeaman and Capel right in line as well, setting up a grandstand finish into the sunset.
I'd have to say that between Fit, Dyson and Bowler, all their rocking those sim rigs Porsches, you can just see how strong those Porsches are in the latter stages.
They're out of shape, maybe a little bit contact at Dandenong Road. Best passing opportunity for anyone on a Lamborghini because you struggle to stick with them in the straight line. Lambo needs a little babysitting through that quick corner and the turn.
You can actually see just how much that Lamborghini can stretch its legs out against the Porsche. Just a car length or 2 really is all you need though. Surely Luke Fit and Andrew Dyson there would be having a chat, trying to work out the best course of action to try and get around that Lamborghini there of Hen. You can just see how much it pulls out all the way down that back straight. It really does have that power advantage.
Flock's catching them. Yeaman's catching him, so they're sandwiched between Lamborghinis. Kang off the road.
Yeah, you can just see you can see how much the pace is when they pick it up, and then just that Lamborghini logo just getting smaller and smaller when your Luke Fit just powers it away. You can just see how much of a gap it opens up. On the brakes, so a little bit earlier, you can.
They can't team orders swap positions now because the cars behind are way too close. We would not successfully engineer that one, I don't think. Board with the Lambo Flock. The Simrig's Porsches in front of him. Oh, maybe they are going to be able to do it. Dyson's down the inside. Dyson's through. The red rims go ahead. Flock wasn't close enough to do anything about it. And now he has a little moment, a little wobble. Yeaman, I think, went wide as well. Flock is close. Fit is vulnerable.
Oh, he's going to be right up on that inside and doesn't look. He's going to commit. Oh, it's pushing him wide.
Breaks so much later. Christopher Hen started this race on pole with the top 10 inversion. No, I mean to say he jumped through into the race lead on the first lap after starting on the second row. And he's done really well to use that, but just got to hold on a little bit longer because there are some quick cars charging at him here. 2 more laps to go by the look of it. Hayden Veld out front. Lap car, and then his teammate Bowler in second. I just had to have a rub my eyes double check. Bowler started this race in 26th.
What a run there by Matthew Bowler. As well as Hayden Veld, all the action that he was part of in particular in our sprint race at the start. I was trying to work out with Andrew Dyson, you can just see how much stronger the Porsche is through the second half of the track.
Under attack from Yeaman. I think Yeaman's going to get through. So not able to make forward progress. Sebastian Flock now drops back. Speed difference through the quick part of the track, aka the dangerous part. It seems Dyson out braking at Dandenong Road, has his nose in front of Christopher Hen. The best opportunity for the Porsche is on the brakes, but now he's got to keep working to try to hold on to it. Causes a traffic jam. His teammate Fit gets through as well, and now it lines up Yeaman for a pass as well. It is all going to kick off as they start their final lap.
Well, you can see there Fit choosing to go up on that inside line there. Dyson's definitely going to have the advantage there. You got Yeaman going really, really shallow. He's going to have to pull out of it.
Flock wants some of this, but he'll have to go around the outside of turn 2, and Hen is not going to let him do that on the final lap. So it's Hayden Veld leading outright. Matthew Bowler catching him in quickly. Is Veld short on fuel, or are they staging a photo finish, as is so common in Honts racing? He doesn't look too worried, does he?
Oh, geez, letting him catch really, really quickly, surely.
Now, this smells like shenanigans to me. This battle's still happening behind them. Contact. It's teammates of Veld and Bowler who are going to take the AM and the Pro and the outright wins at Sandown. There we go. That's the emotion you were dying to see from Veld, right? 3 wide finish behind them, which was a story all of its own on that final lap. And here's John Merritt tucked up behind Harry Lawrence as they take the checkered flag. My oh my, what a race at the end. There's a view of Melbourne. Everything the light touches is over-leveraged home loans. Hayden Veld and his teammate Matthew Bowler with the AM and Pro win, staging their own photo finish at the end. Dyson, Yeaman, Fit, Hen, Flock, and Capel engaged in an amazing final couple of laps battle. Ben Jeffrey scores second amongst the AMs with Harry Lawrence in 10th. Looking then to John Merritt, Tim Harris, another podium in class to keep his championship hopes alive from Williams, Shepherd, Lehman, Wang, Tim Orty, Jordan Ferguson, Tony Baker, and Tyson Broad. 1 lap down. Tom Wilkinson, Luke Fitt, Richard Brookfield, Adam Fonslow, Chu Kang, Dylan O'Shea, Brady Buchanan, Stephen Tonkin, Danny Davison, and then Adam Jepson. Some really wounded and damaged cars there, not the least. If I had the dollar for every Brady Buchanan Dandenong Road replay, I'd have a little more money than I'm comfortable with or know what to do with. The Dale Carpenter, Liam Caplice, and Graham Smith, last of the 33 cars. Before we have a chat to some of our drivers after that, it's worth having a look again at everything that went on in the battle for third on the final lap. I mean, there's Hen trying to defend from Flock. Broad had... so Dyson had already gone through for third. Then the straight line speed of Yeaman on Joshua Fitz. He has to pull out, has to look to go the long way around. Not a comfortable thing to do in the Lamborghini. Comfortable at all. But he decides it's the last lap. I'm putting my nose down the inside. And Fitz is side by side with Hen towards the end of the lap here. Hen doesn't want to give up on that one. Sebastian Flock wants to get his nose in as well. And does just drop back off Fit Flock, and then Capel fan out to the line. They cannot steal another spot away from Chris. Well, it is time now to chat with the driver or two. Let's get Matthew Bowler, the pro winner, but unusual little circumstances, not the outright winner. You're not too disappointed about that, I wouldn't think.
Oh, no, not at all. I think I started 26th or something in that race. So, yeah, 26th. So, yeah, a bit surprised to gain 70 positions. I think I was at around 8th after the first lap. So, I got in a few incidents though, so I do feel like a penalty might be coming my way. But yeah, good fun, and yeah.
Sandown's a wacky little place, and across all of the different GT3 models, we saw, you know, Lamborghinis and Ferraris quick in a straight line. Porsche's very good on the brakes. Mercedes seemed like it rode those curbs pretty well that others couldn't.
Yeah, the Merc to me was fine. I didn't do any laps until the session went up, so I was a bit blindsided by all the cars and what they had. The Lambos seemed to have the better straight line speed, but yeah, the Merc seemed pretty good all round, besides getting on traction and turning into the end-on corner. But besides that, yeah, it was pretty hooked up and pretty safe to drive.
Well, there you go. Congrats on that one. Some robust moves at times, but I think that's what this track is known for.
Yeah, exactly right. It's a bit tough to pass. You just sort of got to poke the nose and then bomb it up the inside, I guess, sometimes. So, yeah, it was good fun. Good to jump back into racing. It's been a while since I've actually done some racing, so yeah, it was good fun.
Congrats, well done. See you next week.
Will do. Thank you, David.
Well, Nick, I think we go now to the outright and AM winner, which is something that this championship has threatened at times and maybe not delivered, but Sandown does it. Wait, do we have him?
Riding shotgun with...
Oh, hey, Hayden, sorry we caught you mid-conversation there.
Oh, unlucky.
Congratulations there on that win. We did see quite a bit of carnage in that first sprint race, but take us from there. How'd you get through that, and then how'd you get through here in the feature race?
Yeah, that's a great question. I just sort of closed my eyes and the seas just parted away, if I'm going to be honest with you. Everything just happened around me, and just managed to get lucky enough to make my way through that. And from there, it was just hang on, pick up a couple of guys, and pray that Bowler didn't catch me.
Yeah, I was going to say the sea or the bay, maybe Port Phillip Bay, being in here in Melbourne there.
That's very good.
There we go. Yeah, we do have the, I think it is the Nordschleife there coming up next week. So I'm sure, much like the practice that you did here tonight, you'll be doing your homework and getting your practice in around the Nordschleife as well. out in Germany?
Yeah. Practice. I'll try and do a little bit more than tonight. I might actually turn a lap before the server. But no, Lords might be all right. It's a bit of a different track where you'll get drivers who just know the track really well, and you'll see them excel, and you get others who maybe haven't done so much of it, and they might be down the pack. So it'll be pretty interesting for you blokes, I reckon.
Yeah. So what category do you think you'll be in?
Yeah, probably not am. Probably might get moved up.
Well, congratulations again. So it was definitely such a great effort here tonight. Any people and sponsors you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank Matthew Bowler, the creator of Honts Racing Team. All of our sponsors there being Chick Hicks, Honts, and that Minecraft Creeper that made a very good showing on the broadcast. Dan for all the fuel numbers, the boys at SSR and you boys for putting on a great broadcast as always.
Congratulations again, Hayden Vell. We'll take it back to David Haynes.
Oh, it's the baby. Don't forget,
And
thank
the baby.
And the baby, yeah. Thanks, Liz.
I'm almost without words, but do offer our congratulations to the outright race winner Hayden Veld and his baby. Next week, things could be very different though. Nürburgring Nordschleife, massively challenging track, and changes coming to GT3 cars on iRacing. Not the least of them, physics changes, tyre changes, setup changes, and ride height changes for this track, the Nordschleife. It is going to require a higher ride height on GT3 cars than other tracks, as is typically of real world rules as well. So everything we know might get chucked a little out the window for next round at the Nürburgring Nordschleife. Thanks for joining us on SimSpeed TV. It's been David Haynes with Nick Skariev and Jay Kennedy. Simrigs.com Oz Pro-Am Sim Series from Sandown turned on some really, really fierce racing, and we look forward to seeing you next week here on SimSpeed TV.
So you do like it?
I love it, yeah.
Now when you go pre-owned, you can enjoy the same feeling you get with a new Toyota. Tested and backed by Toyota.
Upgrade your car, mate.
This? Yeah, no big deal.
Toyota certified. Pre-owned in a class of its own. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.